Yo, right before this video starts, guys, I stream at Twitch every single day, and if you want a VOD review like this one, I offer them for free. Just stop by my Twitch, say that you're from YouTube, and we can get it done. Leave a like on this video if you enjoy the Monkey VOD review. I think it's gold or platinum ranked. I forgot to do an intro, so enjoy. Peace. Already you're playing against a Roadhog, so that's going to be kind of rough. Roadhog Junkrat's kind of rough, but their backline is pretty diveable. Off the start, just looking at their team comp, I would have probably just like played Diva. Obviously, you can't see their team comp yet, but as soon as I saw their team comp, I would probably swap Diva. Alright, I like that you're taking the high ground. I don't think you need to use Bubble there. So like now that you're jumping in here, you could have had Bubble. Instead, you kind of used it before you jumped in, so now you're taking a lot of damage. You're probably going to die. Oh, okay, you live. Try not to use your bubble when you don't need to, especially if you're going to jump in that early. A lot of time on Monkey, what I like to do is jump in without using bubble first, get their cooldowns out. I jump in not to go in all the way. I kind of just jump in, try to do a little bit of damage, get their cooldowns out, and then I get healed up, and then I go in. I would jump on that Junkrat, yeah. Again, you kind of use bubble when you didn't really have to. Oh, never mind. This is good, this is good. There, I would have committed all the way. I'm kind of afraid. I think you're afraid because you're placing your bubbles too early. Like right here, you didn't need to place the bubble. I would have like continued to walk up on that Junkrat and then use my bubble like around like this area, so then you can get this kill. Because the only thing that's gonna heal them is the Mercy, and you can honestly out damage Mercy. But yeah, so far I like your dives, I like your target. Priority, it's mostly just your bubble usage that I'm seeing so far that could be worked on. Also, if you're gonna jump in like that, go in all the way. Like, he's half HP, he's not getting healed, there's no reason to be afraid of him. Even if your supports can't see you by the time, if you're gonna die, by the time you are gonna die, you're gonna have to jump again. Jump's on a really short cooldown. I like how you're not taking too much damage though. Right now I'd go in the backline. They have no Reaper fade. I would go on that Mercy. You have full abilities right now. Okay, right there, you didn't really have like a plan with that jump. Like, you kind of just jumped in. Which with every single jump on Winston, you wanna have a goal in mind, a target in mind, and a plan afterwards, right? So you kind of jumped in, used your bubble. Nobody's even really looking at you. Yeah, you live, but you didn't get really much value out of that. You kind of just like jumped without thinking about it. Like I said, if you have full abilities like your jump and your bubble, you want to have a plan with it, and then you also want to have a plan to get out, which you did. You did have a plan to get out, but you didn't really I don't know, you just kind of taking their attention, but you're not doing enough damage. It's like here, yeah, I'd push this guy, 100% push this guy. So this is just a small thing. I wouldn't be tasing them from this far away. You could actually be left clicking him from here. Try not to overdo the right clicks, even though it's like the most fun part about Monkey. I mean, so far you're playing pretty good, bro. You're not feeding. There's just a couple things that you could be doing to make it easier on yourself. I would have jumped up high ground there. Fuck shooting the trap. Again, you panicked, used your bubble. You didn't need to use the bubble. All you needed to do is drop down like you did, but you didn't have to use the bubble. You know, there's certain times where you can panic and use it. Like if you were like 100 HP, then I would have used it. But bubble is a cooldown you really don't want to be wasting, because now you have to wait like 10 seconds before you go in. I mean, that's the thing though. Like, yeah, you don't really notice it in game. Like even me myself, when I'm on Monkey, I could be doing this too. It's kind of just like a bad habit, or just, you know, instinct to press that bubble button. But now you have to wait a while to go in. Like, see, look, I know you wanted to jump them over there, but you didn't have bubble yet, so you're kind of just waiting. Like this. Nice. One tip with the bubble, you want to try to space yourself between the target and yourself, so when you do place the bubble, it actually blocks them. Like if you're standing farther back here, you could actually cut yourself and the enemy in between the bubble, so like he wouldn't have been able to do any damage. Yeah, you still get the kill and he doesn't kill you, but it's just like little small things like that. Also, I'd be looking at the back line here. And then with that primal, you don't really have like a plan. Like, you've wasted almost half of your primal, and then you start actually getting some use out of it by killing the Alari. You want to be playing like proactive as Monkey. You want to always be one step ahead. You're playing a little bit too reactive, which is fine. You're not dying. You're not making too much of big mistakes, but you know, like you said, you feel like you're not doing as much. That's probably why. Alright, so like as soon as that Moira fades and you can't spot her anymore, I would have just jumped out. Instead of using the Prime, I would have jumped out. After I jumped out, then I would go in with Primal. You usually want to like engage with Primal. You don't ever want to, well you can, but before you jump in, you want to know that you're going to use Primal. So you could like go all in, right? Like you go all in on their backline, and then you can, you know, use the Primal to live and do more damage. That's like the best thing on Monkey, is having your Primal and jumping all the way in. Inting almost, like the other team thinks that they're going to kill you, but then you use Primal. That's like the best use of it. Also here, yeah, first of all, you jumped nowhere. Second of all, you want to make sure that the other team can't do anything to your team, right? So like you saw that Reaper walking up. Obviously you can't do much against him because he counters you. You could have bubbled the Reaper ult. You could have, you know, tased him out. You kind of want to work like, you want to make sure that your team's safe before you start doing anything. Here I'd probably swap to D.Va. Yeah, it looks like you're gonna swap. I don't know about Zarya here. Zarya here is kind of weird. Yeah, it counters the D.Va, the pick on D.Va, but this entire second point is all about the high ground and like controlling it and being able to use it. But this is gold/platinum, so there's not a lot of people on the high ground currently, so it could work. Okay, you're way too fucking focused on the bubbles. You're way too focused on it. Bubbles, like, you should be thinking about the bubbles as you're doing damage, and you should just like flick over to the target and bubble. You don't want to like sit there in like this awkward spot where you're just like tracking your team playing like support. Usually bubbling my supports when there's a Reaper gives me a lot of charge. Yeah, I mean that is good. You just want to decrease like the downtime of you searching for your team to bubble. Or like I would use my bubble on the Mei right there that she's pushing up. I would use it on her. Yo, Glench, what's up, bro? Yeah, that look, that gave you hella charge. So yeah, this game you're not spectating, but you're not like taking initiative. Like there's not really much for you to do on Zarya, but like right now, I just ignore that Sojourn. You can't do anything about it. So like I would just already be pushing up. You're like a little bit too worried about your team. Yeah, that's normal. That's normal. That was a good bubble. That was a good bubble that allowed your BAP to kill the Sojourn. But like now, you need to be pushing up a bit more. You're playing a little bit too scared. You got both bubbles. You didn't really need to bubble that guy, but like you don't always have to be on the cart. You can push up right now. I would either push up into their backline like here, or a better play would be going up top right, pushing out the D.Va and pushing out this Ashe by going on the top. You're kind of just like staying on the cart, which is fine, but it doesn't give your team much space to do anything. And also, this is just me nitpicking. Like I'm just trying to find things that you can improve on. See here, you kind of wasted both bubbles. You get lamp. That's actually a really good lamp by your BAP. I like that bubble also. See, look. You kind of need to make a decision. You're kind of like half doing everything. So I like that you're finally making the decision to focus this D.Va out. My suggestion to you is just start making decisions and just following through with them. If you die, then figure out why it didn't work. You're kind of playing a little bit too safe. Like you'll like make a decision and then you'll like back out of it because it doesn't, because you're, I don't know, you don't want to die, or you need to like, honestly, it's fine if you make mistakes. It's fine if you die, because that's how you improve. You're kind of like, you go to do one thing and then you get distracted and do another thing. You kind of just have to like play your own game. You know, make some decisions. If it's the wrong decision, it's gonna happen. You can't be perfect. So like, as you're like walking around trying to find something, always try to be doing something. You could be shooting the D.Va way sooner here. You can always just try to always be doing something. It's like push in, keep holding W. There's no reason why you should even back up here. Fuck that Sojourn, push their backline. You got full charge. You can kill all these people. There you go. Nice. But yeah, overall, you're not playing bad, bro. I would try to constantly be doing more things. Like, you have a lot of downtime in your play. 2, I would hesitate less. Make some decisions. Yeah, you're gonna die at first. You're gonna start dying a lot when you start to actually make decisions and follow through with them. Obviously, you can make the decision, realize it's a bad one, and back out. But try to just, you know, like, try to commit to your decisions more. Like, yeah, you might die a little bit more at the start. I think I'm just too scared to push because in 5v5, if your tank dies, it's wraps. Yeah, that is true, but you got to think about it logically. Like, you can't be scared to push when you have both bubbles, when they're down 1, when your team can see you. Like how you're playing is very good. Like, you're playing super safe, you're not dying, which is very fucking good. But you gotta be able to control that. You don't want to always be doing that, because then in games you'll find that you're not dying. Yeah, you're not dying, but you're just kind of spectating your team, and your team's just dying, and you're just gonna you're gonna lose the game, even though if you're not dying and you're playing good. But like, if you have 1 or 2 bubbles, or you got cooldowns, and you see an opportunity to get somewhere, try it, bro. You'll be surprised. Like, you could take a lot of damage and do a lot of things on tank without getting punished for it. You have to be severely out of position to die on tank, or use your cooldowns like super incorrectly. I mean, but I get being too scared to push, because I'd be doing the same thing. But like, just know if you use your cooldowns correctly and you're not completely out of position, and your healers can see you and they're not getting pressured by the other team, you can push. It's like, here I'd be careful because you don't have any cooldowns. See, the only reason why you died there is because you used both your bubbles. Yeah, you got high charge, but then I would have started backing up, because 1, I don't think your healers can peek you from there because they're getting sniped at, and 2, you just left yourself with no bubbles. That's the only reason why you died. Also, Zarya isn't really the best pick on this map. Monkey or D.Va is way better. And if I were to play Zarya, I wouldn't play down there. I would have just sat up top and waited for them, because like you can give them space. You don't have to contest the cart right here, because 1, it was very hard for your healers to peek you because they're getting shot at. So I would have just sat up here and just tossed some right clicks around, kind of played like anti-dive. But yeah, I would definitely take use of the high ground here. Also, try not to use both your bubbles like that if you are going to play aggressive afterwards. I mean, like, alright, yeah, but alright, so say that you died. Like, you said just you're like afraid to push because if you die, it's wraps. You died there and they didn't even push the cart anyway, so don't be afraid to, you know, take a risk and die. It's completely fine to die. It's like, here, as you're like trying to spot any opportunities to do anything, you're like looking around. In between, like, searching for what to do, I'd just be like tossing right clicks, or at least try to be doing something in the fight instead of just like waiting and looking. Here you're down 2, so I would have probably start backing up. Dying on cart here also isn't too bad. I like dying on cart there, besides the fact that you're on Zarya. On Zarya, if you're down 2, you want to try to get out and live with charge. But dying on cart there gives your team another fight, I think. Alright, we swapped D.Va. Honestly, I like the D.Va pick. Maybe even Monkey would have been better here. There, I would stop shooting once you can't see them, because you actually move slower when you shoot. So like, if you can't see them, stop shooting and try to catch up to them. Didn't want to go Winston because of the Bastion. Yeah, it can be tricky to play Winston into Bastion. To play Winston into Bastion, you gotta like wait till he uses his form. See, I find on defense you're actually playing way more aggressive than you do on attack. That Zarya dies. Shoot the Zarya. She has no bubbles right now. Okay, you decide to go for the back line, which worked out pretty well. I love how you just like completely ignored Zarya. Alright, that was good. You had bomb. Alright, nice. You guys win. From the looks of it, I feel like you didn't have a lot of damage that game. Yeah, you won, but I feel like if your team was a little bit worse, you would have kind of struggled. I would just say take more risk, bro. You need to take more risk, especially on attack. On the defense, you actually did play a little bit more aggressive, which is why you died twice, but hey, you still ended up full holding. And honestly, dying, I know in Overwatch 2 there's only one tank and it sucks to die on tank, but dying is how you learn. Yeah, you only have like 6k. Yeah, well, I can tell you why that is. It's because there's too much downtime and where you're not doing anything. Like on Monkey, you're gonna have downtime because the only thing you can do is right click. But on Zarya especially, there'd be times where you're like trying to look for people to bubble, you know, try to figure out what to do, and you're like kind of just standing there for like almost 10 seconds when you could be like right clicking, like even if they don't hit, just like right clicking. See, like right here especially, where you're just kind of like looking around. You're looking. So like that's why you don't have as much damage as your teammates, because you're just kind of looking. So one, I would try to constantly be doing things, constantly like throwing out damage or doing stuff. Two, I would try to take more risk, play more aggressive, especially on attack. Honestly, like the bubbles, you can look for them, but I would use like sound cues, reactions to bubble people. I wouldn't be like trying to look around and search for the bubble. I find that the best bubbles when I'm playing Zarya is when I like just instantly react to a target. Like I see that my team is about to die, I bubble them. Because like trying to look around for bubbles like this, like how you're doing, will end up making you waste bubble a lot. Like you'll just like bubble someone and it'll be like too early or too late because you're like kind of overthinking it. During the attack, there's a few times where you could play a lot more aggressive. I feel like on the attack, you kind of played the attack like you're on defense and the defense like you're on attack, which isn't bad, but there's a lot of times on the attack where you could have like, you know, made a lot more space and done a lot more. I think I'm worried shooting the tank when they both have supports. Feed them all charge. I mean, yeah, you're like right to a certain extent, but also you gotta think about tanks give off less alt charge than they used to. Like you barely get alt charge from tanks. Their supports healing their tank, it doesn't give them as much alt charge as it does when they're healing squishies. I would only be worried about shooting the tank like that if you already have ult, but you want to try to get your ult as fast as you can, no matter if you're farming their ult charge or not. But like if you have ult, then it's fine not to do extra damage. And also, you didn't really have to like shoot it into the tank. You could have just like shot squishies, or yeah, the passive is a huge thing. Like you can't really farm ult charge off tanks that much anymore. Also, just try to play less worried, man. Just you know, if your team flames you or like you have a bad game, it's fine, bro. You don't have to. Because I mean, I'm someone who worries a lot, and I worry a fuck ton when I'm playing. So if it's anything I could say to you is just try not to worry, bro. But I know how it is. Try not to worry. If you make mistakes are bound to happen. You just kind of have to go, hey, you make a mistake, you learn from it. You don't do it again. But in summary on Winston, use my bubbles better. Yeah, first of all, I would focus. I think your target priority is pretty good. I would focus on your bubbles first. First, I would focus on your bubbles. That's like the main thing I saw. Try to have like a plan with your bubbles. Also, like I said, with like with the bubble and like the spacing of it, you want to try to cut yourself in between you and the enemy with the bubble instead of like being on top of them, because that's how you can actually get away with a lot more. Like say if you bubble them like this, they can still shoot you. You have to like back up and they can do damage while you're doing that. But like if you space it right, you can take less damage and play more aggressive with the bubbles. You can like jump up in the air, right click, melee, land on them, and look, she's almost dead. Another thing, oh wait, no, that's actually really good on Monkey. If you're jumping in like this, if you're going full in, you can actually place the bubble as you land and hold space. Hold space like as you're jumping in, right? As soon as you, and then you're at the edge of the bubble. Then you can play the edge of the bubble. See, like if you just jump in and just like kind of just sit there, you're in the middle of the bubble. So if they push your bubble, you're gonna have to walk a farther distance to get and play like outside of it or inside of it. But if you jump, bubble, and then jump after you land, like this. Alright, I fucked it up. But yeah, then you land on the outside of the bubble. You want to be playing on the outside of the bubble so you can like, you know, dance it and stuff. You know, like this. But yeah, I hope that helps. Whenever I do VOD reviews, I feel like I never do a good enough job. So I hope I help. Hope it helps. Work on your bubbles. Work on the things that you said. Work on those things, and then in like a week or two, or maybe like a month, you can send in another VOD review, and we can go again. See what you've improved on and what you need to improve on next.